Ah, good old Resident Evil 5. I still remember the first day I played this game.
I always hated it.
Nah. But yeah, so before we get started, like I said before, I'm close to 100 subscribers. I would like to reach it by the end of May, so you could please help a fat ass out. I greatly appreciate it. Like, comment on the video. Let me know when's the first time you had Resident Evil 5. Did you buy it and then play it? Or did you play it then buy it? Please let me know. But on that, let's get straight into it. So, this game, originally, I knew it was coming out, that it was going to be released, but I never knew what the exact date was. But the cool thing is, Resident Evil 5 was actually one of the first games I ever got for the Xbox 360. And because, like I stated in my last video, I was very late to a lot of consoles. That's just the way I was. I was a cheap-ass motherfucker. I mean, dude, I stayed on the Super Nintendo and the N64 for way past their fucking ages, man. Like, I mean, I eventually got a PS2 for my brother, but that was like 2006, 7, I think. Shit. But let's get back on topic. But yeah, so I actually pre-ordered Resident Evil 5 after going out with my family to a Chinese restaurant called Grand Buffet, and because as soon as you walk out the Grand Buffet and you take a right, it's a strip mall, but when you take a right, there's a GameStop, and back then I decided to order Resident Evil 5, and I believe the release date was March 8th, like 2009 or some shit like that. But I pre-ordered the game, which is kind of funny because I was supposed to use that $5 to tip the people, but for some reason I just forgot like an asshole. I was like, oh, fucking, like, because back then it only took like $5 just to reserve a game. Like, cool, I got what I needed. Here we go. So then the following week, after work, took the bus, went to go pick it up. And man, bro, like, Resident Evil 5, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but Resident Evil 5 is my absolute most favorite Resident Evil game of all time. Like, that one, I've put so many hours into that game. The second one would definitely be Resident Evil 4. But man, Resident Evil 5, I absolutely love that game, man. Yes, it may not be the best in terms of like mainline story, but I still love it. Like one thing that still throws me off which was kind of cool. Like when you read some of those files, it's kind of implied that Wesker, that might not even be his actual last name. He's part of something called the Wesker program. So that shit was fucking cool. Like that threw me off. I was like, oh shit. Like okay. So there are some cool things here and there, but Resident Evil 5 definitely has a lot of memories attached to it. For example, like I said, it was one of the very first games I got for the Xbox 360. Because the first 360 I ever got was the Xbox Arcade. And if I'm not mistaken, I think mine did have the Blades dashboard, which was kind of cool. But the one thing to go with Resident Evil 5 was also the very first time I got Xbox Live. I went over to a homeboy's house who had internet. And he helped me set up my account and everything. And originally I stuck with the old gamer tag of Primal Operation. But for some reason I was like, let me go with something that sounds kind of cool. And I chose Sword Beholder. I don't know why. I just thought it sounded cool, but thinking back on it, I just sound like a fucking idiot like I normally do. And then it's cool. I could actually still remember the very first Mercenaries match I had online. My co-op partner was playing as Sheva, the BSAA costume. I was playing as Chris Stars. And yeah, let's just say I was a bad co-op partner. I let her die. But we were playing on Missile Silo. And yeah, we just got our shit pushed in. But other than that, yeah, that was the very first match I ever had online. So that was really cool. That was my very first time on Xbox Live. Resident Evil 5, man, getting into it. I mean, I was still kind of new to these kind of games, kind of. But man, I mean, I played on casual and I still got my shit pushed in. Like, I sucked ass at that game, even on casual. I died so many times to that opening of Chapter 1, like where you're fighting off like the big ass dude with the hammer. And every time he died, like it was like that little cutscene of like the villagers just like beating the shit out of Chris and Sheva. Like, damn, like, oh my fucking Chris Redfield, man, holy shit. But man, it was definitely an experience. And even by today's standards, I would definitely say Resident Evil 5 still holds up. Like, it looks really good. And despite the fact I was playing with AV cables on a fucking RCA Color Trek TV, I mean, I still like the way it looked, man. It was, oh man, I just kept thinking like, man, I think this is almost as good as it's gonna get. And I don't know, I think that opinion still holds true. I mean, yeah, we got much better looking games now, but I don't know, man. Resident Evil 5 it's really a looker. Like, damn, big ass fucking nut. But yeah, getting into it, like I said, it was just super cool. And it's funny because I actually played that game over the entire weekend that I was off. And it was kind of funny because that the Friday night, my mom had called me. She's like, "Hey, by the way, I have some leftovers. Come pick them up on Saturday or Sunday." I never fucking went to go pick it up. Oh man, I stayed playing that game all the way from pretty much start to finish. Man, I played the shit out of it, bro. Like, damn. And it was kind of funny, like, just getting a phone call Monday morning, like, so I'm guessing you just forgot, like, forgot what? She's like, I told you come pick up the chicken. Like, oh shit. I'm like, sorry, Alma, my bad. And I was just so into the game. I was just eating quick and simple things, like, fuck it, just throwing like some ramen cup noodles, shrimp, and just make 2 sandwiches. Bam, that was my dinner. Following day, just Pop-Tarts and cereal. I'm good to go. Let's fucking play. And man, I enjoyed the shit out of that game, man. Like, damn, like dying so many times to that one part where that truck's coming at you, and even though I'm using like the little MP7, I'm still getting my ass kicked, or MP5. Oh man, dude, like that game was a fucking trip. But shit, man, I absolutely love Resident Evil 5. And one thing I want to talk about too, which is kind of funny relating to the game, because some people like they started saying like Resident Evil 5 is like where it like has like a major departure, like it became like an action kind of series. But to me, it was kind of going that direction since Resident Evil 3. Now, the one thing I will say is I've actually never finished Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil 2 for that matter. But I would even say since 3 is when they were kind of going more action oriented. Like I saw my best friend play that game, and it doesn't look like something that was too scary, but I mean it has its moments. If anything, the most terrifying thing is Nemesis. That's about it. But yeah, I mean I would definitely say 3, 4, and 5 is when they started focusing more on action instead of more on horror. But I don't know, that's just my own little opinion on it. But getting back to it, one thing I could even remember about Resident Evil 5 was, man, just enjoying the unlockables. That every gun could have infinite ammo. I absolutely love that. I mean, I've pretty much bought Resident Evil 5 on pretty much everything it's come out on except PC, which was the Xbox 360 version, the PS3. Even though I didn't get a PS3 till like much later in my life. Like I want to say maybe I got a PS3 like I think maybe like 7 years after my first Xbox 360, and then I also got it for the Xbox One, the PS4, and pretty much that's as far as I know that it's been released on, and that's where I've had it at. But man, like I said, I absolutely love Resident Evil 5, man. It holds a special place in my heart. One thing too was the versus mode. I would definitely say I was more of a, Resident Evil 5 was definitely the most I was ever my most competitive, my most try hard. I mean, when versus mode first came out, man, I was addicted to that shit. Like, I mean, I still went to work like I was supposed to, but I would get up like 3 hours before my alarm was even supposed to go off, just so I could play Resident Evil 5. And man, I would play the shit out of that. I'll be player killing on Slayer's mode, even though some people be bitching like, no, and the guy that says you can't be player killing, like, shut up, bitch. If Capcom wouldn't let me do it, they wouldn't let me do it. But I'm a PK anyway. Fuck you. But man, I would always rock Chris Stars, and I even got so good to the point where like even some people are like, "Bro, get off Chris Stars' dick. You know you can't do shit without him." I'm like, "All right, well, fuck it, Chris BSA, I'll still whoop your ass." Sure enough, I always did it, man. Like I mean, I was fucking insane on that game, bro. Like holy shit. Unfortunately, there were quite a few people that I just could never beat, but oh well, I mean, I would definitely say I was pretty much one of the top players on the Xbox 360. But man, I mean, I fucking loved that game. But yeah, and then also the Slayer's theme, like the music to it, oh man, that shit gets you pumping, baby. Holy shit. But man, I just enjoyed it. Mercenaries Reunion, which if you play like certain characters, I think like Chris and Barry, you would get like a new special kind of melee moves. Bro, I fucking love that shit, man. Like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It was super cool. But and of course one of the most iconic things, seeing Chris Redfield beat the shit out of a boulder, like damn. I love you, Chris. I also love the way they made Jill look, big old fucking nut. But man, but yeah, I wanted to talk about when I first got the game, and like I said, I pretty much got the game a week after it released, and I'm basically just recapping at that point. I took the buzz, went to that GameStop, got it. But man, I mean, Resident Evil 5 has a special place in my heart. And, I've only co-opted a few times. One with my best friend, which was kind of cool because he was having a hard time beating the game on professional. So, of course, I helped him out. And he was like, damn, dude, we're breezing this pretty easily. Which is kind of funny because, like I said, in the beginning, I sucked ass at it. But the more I played it, I mean, I got fucking good at that. I mastered that shit quickly. I think even this year or either last year, I co-opted the game as well with my brother just to play it. And but yeah, man, Resident Evil 5 is always going to be something near and dear to me. It's my most favorite Resident Evil game to date. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Please let me know when was the first time you ever played the game and when's the first time you ever owned it, or like did you the first day you ever bought the game was the same day you played it? Let me know in the comments. Just reiterating, please help me out. I'm close to 100 subscribers, and I want to reach that by the end of May. So, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Thanks for watching. All right.